Bonjour tout le monde. Alors, je me présente. Je suis Mélanie Robitaille, naturopathe, et je travaille avec les informations que Medical Medium Anthony William partage. Aujourd'hui, j'ai le privilège, je suis vraiment contente, je suis très excitée d'avoir Anna Goncharova en interview. Alors, cette interview va avoir lieu en anglais. Je vous encourage à sélectionner les sous-titres en français si vous voulez sur votre ordinateur lorsque vous allez écouter cette interview très intéressante. Anna vient de l'Ukraine. Donc, on va parler un petit peu des impacts des radiations. Anna a guéri des maladies auto-immunes, d'inflammation de la thyroïde. Donc, on va parler de ça. Et puis, elle vient d'avoir un enfant. Elle va nous partager toutes les choses qu'elle applique avec son enfant, comment est-ce qu'elle mange et tout ça. Donc, merci d'être avec nous. Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez nous écrire. Alors, je vais commencer en anglais. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Melanie.
How are you doing?
Doing great today. I'm happy to see you.
Yes, me too. I had the pleasure to discover you in a training we had that was a focus on medical medium, and I'm so blessed, feeling blessed. It's since more than 3 years, and we kept in
Yes.
touch. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yes, me too. I'm so happy I met you there and that we're still staying in touch and that we had so many hours practicing together.
Yes. So Anna is living right now in England, and she's a designer, interior designer, and she was very sick with autoimmune thyroiditis. She had also inflammation, all symptoms of inflammation of reproductive system, and she had also all the symptoms of endometriosis, and she healed that. So we will be blessed by her sharing what she did and how many months or years it took her and what was her journey with that. And now she's with a baby, though. So the baby, we don't see him right now on the camera, but he's there with us. And she had an amazing home birth. She used all the tools she got. She learned until now, and taking care of herself after the pregnancy and of her newborn. So you might hear a little bit of sound of Eric sometimes, and that's going to be just a blessing to have him sometimes with us. So, Hannah, would you like to start with how you did discover medical medium?
Yes, Melanie, thank you. I was diagnosed with autoimmune thyroiditis in 2016, and I started medical treatment. I was taking hormones, basically. I was actually also checking my blood every 2 weeks for almost a year, or like 4 weeks. It was depends on what my doctor would like to see. So I was taking hormones and I was checking my blood all the time for the whole year. After that, I did felt better, because the steroids probably, the steroid compound. And for the whole next year, I was off the medication. I was not having any blood tests. I moved to England as well. And I was only just starting here with the new doctors. I was looking to register at the GP. I was looking for appointment with an endocrinologist. And while I was doing that, I was experiencing so many symptoms, even more than I experienced before. Everything worsened for me. Like I felt really bad. It wasn't just autoimmune thyroiditis. It was much more. It was much deeper. The problem was deeper. It was in my nervous system, in my brain, everywhere. I had so many neurological symptoms. My brain once shut down. My eyes, they stopped seeing. I just saw like blank black screen in front of my eyes for a few seconds. I had no idea what it was. Then it went away. It happened only once, but it really did concern me. It was weird. And I was looking for this appointment with an endocrinologist because I thought, okay, I moved to England. like it's really developed country, and they probably know the answer, because before that I tried few endocrinologists back in Ukraine, and I thought, okay, England is probably much more better, like the medicine probably much more developed, so they have the answers. It can't be just it, you know, it can't be that your body is trying to destroy you, like that it just went crazy and attacking you. Your immune system is basically attacking you. So I did not agree with this explanation, and I was looking for answers. And long story short, England is no better than
Mm.
Ukraine. Um, I actually liked it more in Ukraine, my all my experience with endocrinologists, than here. So after they gave me another treatment, another hormonal treatment, I took it, but then I started develop like strong side effects from this treatment. I lost like a lot of my hair on the top of my head. It was burning, like my scalp was literally burning and hair was falling off, but it was the minor symptom. Other symptoms I started having from this medication was like extreme pain in my extremities during the day, during the night, and sometimes in my neck. It was like a cramps, like a really strong cramps, and I was having it really regularly. And then my doctor, she said, oh, maybe we should switch to another medication. And we switched, and it did not help. It only got even worse. So then I weaned myself out of this medication with the help of my doctor, of course. I just asked her if you can do that, if you can wean. And yeah, and she said just cut it by half, then another again by half and by half. So and then I ended up with just a speck of the medication. It still was causing me the problem. So then I decided I'm just gonna stop. And exactly at that moment I found medical
You
medium.
permit, yes, and I'm just cutting you just a second, just if you permit that here, Anna and I, we're not doctors. So we're not saying you to cut your medication or that. It's a personal experience of Anna. And I'm so grateful that you share all those details so that people can connect with you and see the possibilities. But we're not suggesting at all to cut or diminish or remove or modify your medication without your medical doctor advice. So I'm sorry, Anna. And I just want to specify if someone is questioning autoimmune as it's explained in the science, publicly known science, it's like the body that is attacking itself. And as Anna, you share, you didn't agree with that theory. And also medical medium explained in his books that it's not the right explanation at all. So please continue. Sorry to have interrupted you.
No, that's okay. It's actually a good note to with the medication, because I started to lower in dose with under supervision of my doctor. I wasn't doing it myself. It's
Mhm.
just in the end when I almost had no dose at all, I decided to stop. Yeah, so and at that moment I already found a medical medium. I found the book and I found it on the website that I was just Googling, like natural way of keeping your hormones. I think I was looking for some ways to keep my hormones on the normal level. Like I was trying to lower my T4 and to bring my TSH up because it was undetectable at that time. And I found some article of some, I don't know, just some lady, and she posted like a laundry list of supplements that she was taking, and she claimed that it helped her. So it probably did, but when I did the same, it did not help me at all. And then after months or two taking the supplements, I thought like maybe I'm doing something wrong, you know, I need to go back and read the article again. So I read the article and I realized that I was doing nothing wrong. I was doing all the same that she explained herself there. But then I went lower to the comment section, and someone just wrote in the comments like, go and read Anthony Williams' thyroid healing book. And I did. You know, I went to the Amazon, I put the book in my cart. It spent there a few months in my cart. Then I finally ordered the book, and I went in on a trip. And then after the trip, I came back, I opened the book, and I prepared to read the book. And the book was in English. I wasn't reading English books back then. It was 2019, and I prepared like to have a lot of translators around me, like my phone, my iPad, and I was ready like to get into book because it was medical, you know, it says medical
Yes.
medium, and I was prepared to read something really tough stuff, like hard stuff. But when I opened the book, it was so clear, and I never used the translator once because it written
Wow.
so clear. It's not only the language, it's clear that you can understand what's standing behind your symptoms, why you have this disease. It's so clear because when you ask doctors why I have this condition, they like, we don't know.
Yes. It's so amazing what you're saying. It's so clear. Yes, all these books are so easy to understand. The truth
Yes,
is so easy to understand. Wow.
yes. Like, for example, if we compare, you know what they're saying about how they call epigenetics, yeah? Have you ever read the explanation of epigenetics? Like, oh, the genes is they show in themselves because there is a like environment, like for example, the food you eating, because you eating this food, your genes, they are like unfolding this way. But
Mm,
maybe it's just the food. Maybe you should cut the middleman genes, but it's just the food. It's just the food affecting your health, not the
mm.
genes. Like, but this is a stupid explanation, I would say. But in medical medium, it was all clear.
Yes. So you got rid of all the symptoms. Can you just share the symptoms that you got rid of?
Yes. So the first one was headaches and migraines. It went
Okay.
away like almost instantly. I don't know, maybe first week or first couple of weeks, but um, I had it for my whole life, you know, since I was a child, since I remember myself. I was on painkillers constantly, like to all my childhood and my adulthood. And I was 29 when I finally got rid of it with medical medium information. I started
Uh,
this 90-day thyroid rehab program from his book, and
yes.
this helped me tremendously. In 3 months, my hormones went back to normal, like without medication. I was off medication at that time. I was doing this 19-day thyroid rehab, and everything went back to normal. I felt so much better, like I never felt before, you know, in my
Wow.
life.
And the
Yes.
90 days, 90 rehab is not that much complicated.
Yes, it's really easy because it's written in steps. You just start, I remember, like you start with lemon water and then you add cucumber juice and then you add aloe water, and you just need to cut out the no foods, but not all the no food that he listed. In that book, it was only like 6 or 7 of that no foods. And you do that. And next month you add smoothie, you add broth, you add tea. Like it's in steps. It's really easy, and I would really recommend it for anyone who just started medical medium, not only for thyroid but for any problem, because it helps you to improve your lymph,
Mm,
your hydration, and
yes.
then you work on your liver too.
Wow. So you got rid of the migraines and you got rid of what else?
Yeah, so my digestion all got better, you know, no
Uh,
constipation, like no pains. I had a lot of pains in my like stomach, in my tummy, like I don't know where, but everywhere, you know, like I don't know how to describe it, but it was just everywhere. And I was at GP a few times saying them that I have this pain, like really strong pain in my stomach, and they was just looking at me like, maybe
mm,
you just worried or something, I don't know, just go home,
oh,
because you
oh,
don't have anything, like it's no appendicitis, it's no anything, like your blood test is normal, your urine analysis is normal, like everything is normal, you look normal, temperature is normal, why are you here? Like, go home, we don't care about your pain. We don't know where it's coming from.
uh, that's amazing. Your migraines went, your hormones were all your blood tests were all perfect with your hormones. Gastrointestinal pain went away, tummy pain went away, and pain other areas in your body. That's
Yes,
amazing.
my sinusitis, my chronic sinusitis that I had for maybe like 8 years, before that, it just went away. I stopped having constant flus and colds, because before that I was almost every day with some like congestion in my nose.
Mm,
I was almost every day with some runny nose, like, because
yes.
one of my colleagues at work, he said, "Oh, you always sniffing with your nose," and that at that moment I realized, yes, I am. Like, wow, I didn't even notice. I was always had some like problems with my nose, with my sinuses. So this went away too, and it was amazing, because before that, doctors, they made me to puncture my sinuses, what they practice in Ukraine. Like, still, if you have a sinusitis, they will puncture sinuses inside your nose, like with thing, like a huge nail, basically.
Oh, oh, okay. Wow,
Yeah,
I've never heard of that. Also, that must be painful.
it was.
Oh, wow. I I had also me, it was like hay fever.
Hmm.
And when I've learned that it was streptococcus that was creating that, and like with you, also you got rid of a lot of things by focusing on the thyroid problem, but it took care of other things with other causes also. That's amazing what you've
Yes.
accomplished.
Yeah, and it was just the first year that I'm describing, and then was another 4 years of medical medium. And during that 4 years, I got rid of all my endometriosis symptoms. I healed my reproductive system. It's no longer inflamed. Like, my cycle is perfect. Everything is great. No more pain. Like, I had really, really bad pains like before, and some blood clots with my period, but now it's all perfect. And
Wow.
I got rid of, oh, I even reduced my spider veins on my legs just with nutrition. I wasn't doing anything, like not massages at that time, like nothing for my skin topically, but I was doing only nutrition and hydration and cleansing my liver. So this
Wow.
helped tremendously for my skin. My vision improved. I had glasses before. It wasn't really bad, It wasn't really bad. But when I went to um, another ophthalmologist, right? Ophthalmologist, she looked at my prescription and she said, "Oh, it's completely wrong. You don't have problems like that. You don't need glasses like that. Why you were wearing these glasses?"
Wow. So that's okay. So just to do a resume, you got rid of the headaches, you got rid of you got a perfect blood test, you got rid of tummy and gastrointestinal pain, you also improve your vision, don't need any more glasses. And what else that you just said before? You said about
Oh,
your
sinus infection. Yeah.
sinus infection, and you said your varicose veins also that diminished a lot. So
No, not the varicose. There was spider ones, the
spider
smaller
web.
ones.
Okay, the
Yeah,
small one.
yeah.
Wow. So that's a lot of things. And is there anything else? I know that this is already a
Yes.
laundry list, but if there's anything else, it can inspire people that it's doable. And when we have the right tools and the right cause, this is what you said greatly, that it was so easy to understand in the books of medical medium and to follow.
Yes, I got rid of bloating. I had extreme bloating, like he describes in his last one of his last podcasts, when he describes this uh, crazy painful bloatings that your belly is expanding like a balloon. And I had that. And I was like so uncomfortable with this feeling, it was so bad. And when I was somewhere out with, like in social gatherings or something, and I was like nervous a little bit, for example, yeah, it will make it even worse. Now we know this is because of adrenaline, yeah, but back then I didn't know, and I was taking some medication for this to improve, but it wasn't helping, to be honest.
Wow,
But
that's
now
great.
I completely got rid of bloating, and it makes my life so much easier, and me so much happier.
Yes, that's great. That's amazing what you've accomplished. So Is there anything else you would like to add, or
Yeah,
that?
it was many things. Like recently I counted the symptoms. It was 30 symptoms and
30.
conditions.
Wow.
Yeah, that I got rid of. Um, and the thing is, when you got rid of them, you no longer remember them because
Yes.
you now live such a pain-free, beautiful life, but you don't want it to remember. But yes, I will try to remember some more. Um, what else I had? Actually, I have a list. If you want, we can pause. I can find the list and I can read some of them.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
we can do that. I'll just pause. Okay, so we're back, Anna, and you have your list because you're so
Yes.
right. We forget about things we had in the past because it's healed, completely gone. It's not there. It's not, it's not managing the symptoms. The symptoms are just simply not there anymore. So go ahead, please.
Okay, so I just want to add to autoimmune thyroiditis that I had this bulging eyes and I healed them too. So it went away without medication. And I also had dizziness all the time, really like often episodes, like maybe 2, 3 times a week, I would feel dizzy. Um, okay, so then I had cyst on my ovary. It wasn't big cyst, but it was staying there consistently, and then it went away finally after I healed the reproductive system. I had a low libido. I had like adrenal fatigue. I wasn't been able to get off the bed. I had even neurological fatigue for some period of time, and I wasn't just able, to open my eyes literally or pull myself out of the bed. I would spend hours like in the morning, like you're supposed to get up and go with your day, but I wasn't able to do that. I was trying, but it felt like you're under some sedation, like someone gave you a sleeping pill and you can't shake it off. Like you're trying, but you can't. So I healed that.
That's huge because this is what medical medium call mattress island. Like you cannot go to school, you cannot go to work, you cannot do
Yes.
nothing. You live in your room and you're on your mattress because there's no energy. And there's a lot of that right now, the time we're recording this interview. Wow, you heal that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I also had some distortion of smells and taste distortion. I had this for quite a while, like maybe a year or maybe two, and then started medical medium and went away. Um, what else? I had anxiety, I had depression, I was really irritable, I was really nervous, I was like a pain in the ass for people around me, to be honest. Like for my husband, I don't know how he survived me back then in all these years, like since 2016 until maybe 2020, and still improving, but so much better right now. So I got rid of all that conditions. I am no longer depressed. I'm not so nervous as I was. So it's not only a blessing for me, but for him as well, and for my other family members. Um, yeah, I was losing my hair. I had acne. I had like really oily skin, especially on my scalp. So my hair was also so oily. And funny thing, I remember I started having these symptoms after I was doing some homemade treatment for hair, like hair mask, that you can make a homemade. And you know what the main ingredient was?
No.
Do you want to guess?
Um, Oil? No.
No, eggs.
Oh no.
So the eggs that I was applying on my scalp almost every day, and it was staying there for a couple of hours. So it was feeding the streptococcus in my liver because it was going into bloodstream.
Yes. So maybe we can just do a little explanation for people. All the symptoms you're sharing involve pathogen, involve either viruses or bacteria, bad bacteria, and you got rid of that. And as medical mediums share, the number one food for the pathogen is eggs. So you were feeding the cause. So this
Yes.
is, oh, that's, oh, wow. Yes, we do so much in our search. We do, and this is what I want to address after you list the symptoms you got with. We do things that we think help us, but bring us more down. I see that a lot with clients, sometimes just to get rid of things that wrong supplements or the things they eat that are feeding the cause and they don't see it. And it's that is bringing us down more and more and more. So, wow, thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you for explaining about the pathogens, because yes, it's important. It's important to know the cause of your symptoms. It's not just about guessing and trying what else on the internet, like any new trends, ketogenic diets or things like that,
Yes.
and any kind of supplements. It's not any kind of supplements. It has to be right kind of supplement. They need to be clean and everything. And on my journey, I was taking such a bad supplements. I was taking desiccated beef liver. Can
Me
you
too.
imagine that?
Oh,
So
yes.
I can only think how hard it was for my own liver to process everything that went into that poor cow liver, you
Mm,
know.
mm, mm. Wow. Wow. So yes, that's so important to know the cause, as you say, and Anthony William is explaining that freely. I mean, on his website, on his podcast, and the only thing people need to buy is the books, or you can borrow them free at the library of your country or of your city. So this is so important. I did so much bad thing for my body. And it's important to be aware of it because then we cannot expect to heal in one day. We need to repair the damage we've done, not because we're wrong people or bad people, because we didn't know, it was all guessing games, as you said. And I've done that for 2 decades at least.
You have a big experience of bad things. It's good. It's good that you have this experience now so you can share it with other people so they won't do any mistakes.
Yes, yes.
I feel the same about my mistakes too.
Yes, yes. So please continue if there's anything else you want to share about the list that you've healed.
Yeah, there's few more. It was a restless leg syndrome.
Restless leg syndrome. Wow.
Yes, and yeah, and it was chronic pain in my back. I had a back pain, and I had it in my neck too, and it was just some random pains all over my body. Like in my wrist or in my leg. So some kind of random pains no one could explain to me. So yeah, this is the end of the list because
Wow.
some symptoms I already mentioned in the beginning of this video. So yeah, now with there, and still healing. Like I still have few symptoms that I would like to improve, and still working on it, and still seeing improvements almost like every couple of months something's shifting, like because I'm continuing protocols and something's shifting, like every few months I can see improvements.
Yes. Oh, that's great. So you had a lot of neurological symptoms
Yeah.
that you got rid of, and that's huge. That's huge because this is what is the present on the planet right now. A lot of neurological pain and problems. So great. Thank you. So would you like to share also about I think it's important to know the details. As you have a practice, you see clients, me too, and we share things together to help us to be better practitioner always. And we talked about details matter and your situation because you were born in Ukraine, even though if it was 4 years after the disaster, nuclear disaster, that happened, you could identify that you were affected by that, by the radiation. So would you like to share a little bit about that? Because it does affect the immune system. It's being well known about how radiation, when there's a explosion like that happened, how it affect us.
Yes, yes. Um, Even though, we lived quite far from Chernobyl, we lived like 450 miles from the Chernobyl, but it still affected people who live that far. I think it have affected people all around the world, maybe on the lower scale, but radiation spreads really widely, and it's still the fallout. I think, we can still.
It's your baby. You're breastfeeding your baby. That's amazing. Anna is doing an interview and she's breastfeeding her newborn. And she had her own birth and he's so happy and healthy. And you too. That's amazing.
Okay, so yes, and what my mom told, I don't remember much things, but what my mom told, and this is a really valuable information because she worked as a pediatrician at that time, and she was seeing a lot of kids before the Chernobyl and after the Chernobyl happened. And what she noticed is like, kind of failure in immune system. It was, for example, she was talking about this case when a girl was walking back home from school and she just collapsed because uh, as they discovered later in the hospital, that she had a viral infection, like, like flu or something. It was flu basically, but her immune system was not responding to it. It was doing nothing. She had no temperature. She had nothing. Like, her body was shut, just it wasn't resistant the virus. So that's why she already developed, like, like inside it was um like intoxication. The intoxication of the virus was so high, so she collapsed, and there was something in her lungs as well, like fluid probably, I'm guessing. And uh, also what mom told, she saw on the blood test of the kids who was born after the Chernobyl, that she saw lower leukocyte, like white blood cells levels,
Yes.
and
Yes.
including me myself. And still, until a few years back, my white blood cells, they were not raising when I had flu or any other kind of infection, but they should, because when you have infection, your white blood cells, they're expecting to raise in levels to attack the infection, but it wasn't happening to me. And I was always struggling uh, greatly when I had any kind of infection, flu, or even like a when you damage your something on your finger, like a cuticle, yeah,
Yes.
you damage it and it can inflame and it can get like a pus inside of it later. So this was happening to me. And even like 3 years ago, even I was already on medical medium protocols, and I was taking like tremendous amount of uh, herbs that acts as antibiotic, like powerful herbs like golden seal and cat's claw. And even I was taking a real antibiotic, like pharmaceutical one, it was not helping me to fight this like small infection on my finger. Like, I had to take all the herbs and antibiotics on top, like. But some other people, they would be relieved by herbs only, some people I know. So this how my immune system was affected. And every time I get a flu or other kind of infection, I just was feeling that my body is not able to fight it. It's so hard for it. It's struggling. It's trying really hard, but it's so hard. And I felt like that. And I was feeling like I'm dying literally when I would have a flu, but before medical medium. Like, when I had a flu, I was literally feeling like I'm dying. I was all in pain. All my body was in aches and pain, and it was so hard for me. My head was like hot and blowing, like I would feel like it would explode. And yeah, it was really hard. But after discovering medical medium, I not only uh, stopped having infections often, but if I would develop one, I would fight it better.
Yes. That's great. So as we shared a couple of years ago together, by discovering that you had to address that with specific protocols to remove the radiation
Mhm.
because there's there's specific protocols in medical medium information for all different things. So you address other things, and then after you address that, you did see a difference, I think. So it
Yes.
shows that details matter. It's important to remember, if you go and work with a practitioner, to say everything, or if you do build a protocol for yourself, I encourage you to take in detail everything. Let's say if you did drugs for 4 years, that do affect in certain way, or other things. So details really matters. It's very, very, very important. And to conclude this interview, I would like to talk a little bit about your pregnancy. You had an amazing pregnancy, or you had an amazing home birth. And is there a few tips that you would like to share, or things, because I know you've continued cleansing while breastfeeding and eating good food, where people could ask you, where's your protein? And you have a perfectly healthy baby and yourself. And so is there some things that you would like to share about your pregnancy?
Um, yes. What I did, like, not really much, I was just continue eating this way that I was eating, like the whole foods, plant-based, lots of leafy greens, celery juice, of course, heavy metal detox smoothie. So I was just doing all that, and I was so grateful that I'm able to do it, because so many good things are going into my body that my baby is gonna be built off, not like McDonald's stuff or everything.
Yes.
I mean, it's nothing bad if someone is eating McDonald's, this is all they can eat. But I mean, I was so grateful that I was able to eat all these foods, that I don't have any allergies to them or aversions or anything, when sometimes in pregnancy you can't eat something, like
Yes.
you just can't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. And I felt um okay during my whole pregnancy. I mean, regarding the pregnancy itself, my baby, all my vitals, they were good. There were no concern, like, at any point of my pregnancy about its safety, about health of the baby. I did had some issue with my nerve in my neck, because during the pregnancy it was affected by the hormones. The root cause of neuroinflammation was affected by the hormones, and also lowered immune system. So I had that. It was um, pretty frustrating to me, to be honest.
Mhm.
But still, I knew what to do. I knew what tools I can apply. I had the help of other practitioners. So yeah, I worked on the issue, and I was able to carry baby to the full term, and to give a birth naturally at home as I planned, and as I prepared. Um, the birth was just straightforward. It was normal. It was all good, no complications. Um, Everything went fine, and the baby was born so nice and pink. And my midwife said she never saw baby as pink as Eric. Yeah, so yeah, I'm so grateful for this all information that Anthony shares with us, especially on pregnancy and nutrition, because I was focusing mainly on my adrenals. Is so important for being able to give birth naturally. You need strong adrenals, because in order to produce all hormones that will help your body to unfold the birthing process, that to push baby out, you need strong adrenals. So I was working on that. I was working not only on nutrition. I was not only thinking about what should I eat to build my baby's body in the most healthy way, but I was thinking how I will be able to give birth, what I need to eat now to be able to give birth on my own later. So I was thinking about my adrenals. I was having no caffeine, as I already had no caffeine for the past 4 years before pregnancy. Yes, so I was not having that. And I was snacking often with adrenal snack, with just fruits, with just celery, with dates, with everything that is helping your adrenals. Yes, and in the day of the labor, I was also using some medical medium techniques that he shares. There is an interview on Facebook with Kimberly Wonderbeek, and he shares there that you can use magnesium and lemon balm after you give birth to help with after pain. So I was using that as well. Yes, and I was during the labor, I was hydrating my body well. So this was a tip I would love to share with some people. So just keep eating and drinking during labor as you just probably listen to your body. And if you want to eat, you eat. If you want to drink, you drink, or maybe try to have someone who will offer you it frequently so you won't forget to drink, because it's so important for the body to be hydrated and nourished, especially if labor is taking quite some time.
We see his little hands here and now, so I'm sure everyone wants to see his face. But if he's still breastfeeding, there's no problem. It's so
Yeah,
nice.
I think we will see it by the end. I think he will
Yeah.
be in the better mood.
So I'll just give a little emphasize on what you shared. You know, when we're pregnant, Anthony Williams shared, oh, so this is the little baby Eric. Hi, Eric. Hi. Oh my God. How old is he?
He will be 4 months in a few days.
Wow. And he's great.
Yeah, he looks so grown up now.
Yes. This is so nice. So yes, you were saying that you had some pain, and and as Anthony Williams shared, you know, during all the pregnancy, the 9 months, 50% of the immune system goes to the baby, so we have less to fight. And there's we cannot take a lot of supplements while we're pregnant. It's very important. So you build with what you knew, and you had trust that you could heal that after the pregnancy more and more, and during with the tools you had. So that's amazing. And I think you no, I know you've built a course that like a program for pregnancy and for reproductive system and for the woman. And so would you like to share a little bit, or is there a link that you would like to share about that?
Yes. At the moment, you can sign up for the course to receive updates, because it's going to be released later this summer in Russian, and then later in autumn I will translate it in English too. So it will be available in the next 6 months. And yes, I decided to build the course because during my pregnancy and before pregnancy, and still after, to be honest, I was learning so much information about pregnancy, home birth, birth in general, postpartum recovery, and not only medical medium, but other information as well, like, I mean, how to prepare for home birth, and about all the tests and screenings and procedures that offer to pregnant women, and some interventions during birth. So I was learning everything about that, and I just wanted to share, you know, it's a huge lot of information. So I wanted to share it with more women, because what I'm hearing and seeing around me is just not everyone, you know, I would say more people having less pleasant pregnancy and birth experience than it goes normally. You know, most of the people I know, they had rough experience during their birth. Like it happened, like some of them had complications. Some of them were just not able to give birth because they did not have either a good support during their labor, or the medical staff was not supporting, or they were not educated enough to know their options and what they can do, like alternatives if you're stuck somewhere, like in your labor post, for example, like if your labor stalled, or if you're not progressing, like they just did not know other options that they could try with, if their medical team would approve, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that because I'm really passionate about learning about women's health and babies.
Yes. You feel so much with the reproductive system, and you went through the pregnancy and the home birth, and now everything you're posting, I see with your Instagram, with the thing with your son. It's so inspiring. It's very amazing. So we can finish on the touch of. I mean, we can finish with. Emphasize on the adrenals, as you said, it's the powerhouse for pregnancy, for giving birth, and as you said, you took care of that, and I invite everyone to go and register to your program for women's health, and I'll leave you the last word, Anna. I'm very grateful with this interview.
Thank you, Melanie. I'm so happy that you invited me to do this interview with you, and that I have an opportunity to share my story, to maybe inspire someone. And I just want to say, for many people out there who are still sitting on the fence trying medical medium information, that what else you have to lose, to be honest, is just basically foods that are safe. It's just some supplements that are really high quality, and you don't even have to try supplements. You can start with the food, and I will promise you, you will see the difference, and later you will want to try the supplements, because this is what happened to me. I just started with the foods. For the first year I was only doing foods, and I healed so much. And
Mm.
if you try to, you will see the results, and you will not give up, and you will continue, because this is my story. I was never committed to anything in my life for so long, and I'm now doing it for 5+ years. And the only reason I'm committed is only because I'm seeing results, and I'm continue to see them. And I'm really hoping for everyone to try and to see.
Hmm, that's great. That's so well said. Thank you so much. And you're completely right. It's the result that made me throw away all my books on health that I got because I'm naturopath since more than 30 years. I got rid of them, all of them. So I just go
Wow.
with medical medium because this has brought the best result. Whatever everyone is saying is the best result that we can have with his tool. So thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Melanie.
Bye, Eric.
Bye. Say bye.